so what's your title? Like,
Special advisor. I work for the chief of staff, like directly.
oh, you report to the chief of staff. So Arthur's the chief of staff to Guzman.
Yeah, Isabella Guzman.
So she's basically a spokesperson for Biden.
Yeah.
She's indirectly campaigning for Biden.
Yes, yeah.
Administrator Guzman said basically are going to these critical battleground states to basically campaign for President Biden.
Anytime we go, we try to visit with a member of Congress if they're a Democrat. The White House was like, yes, go. Don't invite the other senator because he's a Republican.
Yeah.
Don't invite the two members of Congress because they're Republicans. There's a guy named Jeff Zients. And by getting Jeff's sign off, you're getting the president's sign off. People call him like the second most powerful person in Washington. Most times, like, hey, whatever this guy says is what the president says.
Who would you say is the most powerful person at the White House?
Jeff.
Jeff is the most powerful person at the White House.
Other than like the president. There's probably like 5 or 6 people that work for Joe Biden and have worked for him for 30 years. One of them is Ron Clay. Ron worked for Biden when he was like a senator. There's a guy named Steve Rashay. He's like a senior advisor at the White House. Anita Dunn. Yeah, she's a senior advisor at the White House. Gene Sperling. He's an economics guy. Oh, his sister, Biden's sister. She like runs the Biden Foundation. They're the people that run his different departments. If they put it on his desk saying like, hey, we think you should do this to Biden.
So I feel like Barack Obama's still very like involved.
No, he is.
Yeah, Hillary was being interviewed, and she said, "I still talk to the White."
Man, but this is gonna be a tough one here. But I'm excited about it in the sense that we're finding out what many of us have already suspected, what many in the mainstream media have already been saying, is that the White House has not been run by Biden. It's been run by somebody else. These other players, these other, what I would call unelected power brokers, y'all, this is absolutely serious. See, I don't know why people want to be quiet on this stuff or be, unaware, excuse me. Not unaware. Yeah, unaware of these things, because this is the real world. When people say don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, as I've said in another video before, both of those subjects, they impact us every day, every single day. So while you having fun with your family, doing your day job or taking care of your responsibilities at home or whatever, what you should be doing, being accountable, being responsible, there are people who are not out for your good or your children's good. So if you don't want to look into things as best you can, okay, because I know we're limited, some of us, this is why it's important what O'Keefe is doing and the O'Keefe Media Group, what they are doing, is so crucial and so important. And there are other organizations out there too. They're doing the legwork we cannot do. But when they present the information, we have two choices to, after becoming aware of it, is to believe or not to believe it. And this is amazing information. So we can get ready to get back to it. I'm gonna do my best not to interrupt, but this is very important. Politics and religion are two of the most important things that affect us every day. We need to pay attention to what's going on in the real world. Otherwise, it's going to end up at your front door. You're going to be mad, and then you're going to be asking all of these questions that you could have asked days, weeks, months, or years earlier. So let's get back to this. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share this video, and please set your notifications.
She has people that are like super close to her that are still like senior people in the White House.
So who is she talking to in the White House?
Probably near Tandon.
I hope that Hillary is still involved behind the scenes.
No, she is.
Meet the newest subject in our latest investigation into the D.C. swamp, Tyler Robinson. Tyler is a special advisor working at the Small Business Administration.
You're in politics, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been in politics?
Since like 2012.
And so what's your title? Like,
Special advisor. I work for the chief of staff, like directly.
oh, you report to the chief of staff. What's the person?
His name is Arthur.
Okay, it's a guy.
Yeah.
Arthur. So Arthur's the chief of staff to Guzman, and then you report to Arthur.
Yeah.
Tyler explains he reports directly to a man named Arthur Plews, the chief of staff in the office of the administrator at the SBA, who reports to SBA Administrator Isabel Guzman. Guzman was sworn in as administrator of the SBA by Kamala Harris in 2021. Tyler says he can't do anything overtly political, but confirms the SBA is indirectly campaigning for Biden and, quote, helping retain members of Congress to get reelected.
You're politically appointed.
Yes. So the administrator is the most traveled member of the cabinet. Like pretty much every week.
You mean your boss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much every week she goes somewhere in the country
Nice.
and like talks to small business owners and gets on local news and says like,
Wow.
this is what the Biden economy is
That's
doing
awesome.
for you guys in this area.
So she's basically a spokesperson for Biden.
Yeah.
So
And,
she
like,
can tout Biden's
we can't like
accomplishments.
we can tell her accomplishments. She can't like go on stage and be like, we're going to just be like, hey Joe, vote for Joe Biden. Like that's illegal.
So she's indirectly
Yes. Yeah.
like campaigning for Biden.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's indirectly campaigning for Biden.
Yes. Yeah. But like, yeah, there's just certain rules for like political appointees
Yeah.
and what we're allowed to say and like do.
The unelected power brokers. See, we have been taught that the people in front of us who are campaigning, spending all this money, names on the ballots, seeking power from us to be placed in positions over us to make decisions for us and our children. And really the country's been run by people who we don't know nothing about. Y'all, this is crazy and it is insane.
You and your boss?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Isabella Guzman. She's from California. We're going to this area in Pennsylvania, which is a huge swing state.
It's a huge swing state.
Yeah,
Got it.
you know, a state that Biden needs to win the presidency.
Ah.
And we're not saying, hey, go vote for Joe Biden, but we're saying, hey, because we passed this law and this law that no Republicans voted for, that only Democrats voted for and passed,
Yeah.
you know, we are, like at that time, that trip, we announced that the administration was investing $5 million. Those going directly to that community.
So why can't you help Biden?
There's like it's called the Hatch Act.
Unofficially campaigning for Biden and other elected Democratic officials to small businesses across the nation is a potential violation of the Hatch Act. The Hatch Act mandates that civil service employees in the executive branches of the federal government abstain from any active part in political campaigns. Several members of the Biden administration have already received warnings from the Office of Special Counsel and watchdog groups for violations of the Hatch Act, including Housing and Urban Development Secretary Marcia Fudge, former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, and former White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain. Tyler describes Guzman as a spokesperson for Biden and as the most traveled member of the cabinet as she uses her position to help get Democrats like Montana Senator Jon Tester reelected.
Administrator Guzman said basically are going to these critical battleground states to basically campaign for President Biden.
Anytime we go, we try to visit with a member of Congress if they're a Democrat.
Why do you need a member of Congress to
It's
go
just
with
because then we can help them get reelected as well. So we're going to Montana because Senator Tester he's the Democratic senator from Montana.
Okay.
Like he's in a tough re-election race. And
I
that's
guess-
like a seat we need in the Senate to maintain a majority. Like if he loses,
If he loses Montana,
it's
we're
harder.
screwed.
Yeah, it's harder to win somewhere else. We all, like as an office, we're going. The
Okay.
White House was like, yes, go. Invite Senator Tester. Don't invite the other senator because he's a Republican. And
Yeah.
don't invite the two members of Congress because they're Republicans.
So the White House authorized you guys to go
Yeah.
campaign for this senator.
Yeah.
What kind of campaigns does the SBA run to help Biden?
I mean, we can't do anything like overtly political. Like we can't send out like an email to small businesses like vote Joe Biden.
Tyler Robinson continues to describe the inner workings of the Biden White House by mentioning Jeff Zients, the White House Chief of Staff. Tyler states, quote, by getting Jeff's sign-off, you're getting the president's sign-off, labeling him as the second most powerful person in Washington, D.C.
Down the line.
Wow. Y'all, this is incredible. Do y'all hear this? You voted for one person, but someone else is actually pulling the strings? I don't know about you, but I don't like being insulted. It's to my face or otherwise. But I respect it more if you're doing it to my face. This is incredible, y'all. We're being told that the people we have elected, and some of you might say, well, I've known this for years, so what can you do about it? This is exactly why they keep doing what they're doing. It's because people There's some people who just don't want to step up. They just, as long as it doesn't affect them directly too much, as long as it just doesn't disrupt their day-to-day life too much or too bad, they're going to be fine with it. They're going to accept it. They're going to take it.
Line is up to like the president and the chief of staff.
The chief of staff to the president approved it.
There's a guy named Jeff Seitz.
Jeff Seitz?
Seitz. Within the White House, there's something called the Office of Cabinet Affairs.
Office of Cabinet Affairs.
Yeah,
okay.
and so
All these names.
Yeah, they're responsible for like overseeing all the different cabinet agencies, like cabinet secretaries.
And your boss is one of the cabinet secretaries. So
they tell us
it went all the way up, basically, for
Yeah.
approval. So Jeff is the final approver.
I mean, I guess it would be the president, but in reality, it's probably Jeff. Yeah.
So the president also has to sign off on this.
Yeah. I mean, by getting Jeff's sign off, you're getting the president to sign off.
Oh, this Jeff guy's powerful.
Yeah. Realistically, they are. People call him like the second most powerful person in Washington. Because most of the time it's someone that's close to the president.
Uh-huh.
And like who has always been with them and like their most trusted advisor.
Uh-huh.
So like generally most times like, hey, whatever this guy says is what the president says.
So Jeff can sign off on things without the president.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine if you like ask people who the White House chief of staff was, I doubt anybody outside of Washington to see what
Why is he so stealth?
this is kind of a role.
Because that gives him more power.
Yeah.
More like ability to do things, get things done.
Yeah.
Because if everyone knows about him,
If
then
you follow politics, you know who like the chief of staff is. But like the average American wouldn't know who he is.
but is he appointed or elected?
He's appointed.
He's appointed by who?
Biden.
Biden.
Yeah.
Tyler even goes so far as to state that Jeff Zients runs the White House. When he was 35 years old, Fortune magazine
So elected officials take our trust, throw it under their feet, not all of them, but many of them, walk all over it, and pass the power we gave them over to somebody else that they trust, who have their best interest at heart. While we, the American people, or any government around the world for that matter, any citizens around the world, take our trust and squander it. And you know why they keep doing it? Because they aren't being held accountable. There are different ways for us to do this. I know part of it is the ballot box. I still don't totally trust that process, but we have to do our part because I believe we're going to be held accountable if we don't do our part, because we can't control these folks. Yes, I agree from that standpoint. The key here is awareness. Be aware and take the necessary steps. That's why we should band together. That's what they do. Did you hear that? They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk to certain Republicans, which tells me that there are some they do. But in this case, in this interview, or this undercover investigation, we are discovering that there are some they won't talk to. So my questioning is who are the Republicans that they would? Y'all, I don't like using the word scary, but this is scary. Now, my trust is in my King, the Lord Jesus Christ. But in addition to that, we do have our roles to play. Here's some information we need to know. I wonder what news media, anybody in the mainstream, including Fox, if they would pick up this story and carry it.
named Zients in his 40 under 40 list with a net worth of $149 million. He has held many corporate and government positions, including being on the board of Facebook and the chief operating officer of DGB Enterprises, a holding company for several companies.
He's not elected by American people, American voters, but he's appointed by Biden.
Yeah.
And he can basically be the acting president.
Not the acting president, but like he runs the White House.
He runs the White House.
Like he's responsible for everybody that works there. He like helps set the president's agenda. Like controls what gets said, all that.
Is Jeff more powerful than Harris?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
And is Jeff more powerful than Kamala?
Like not legally, but
in practice, he is.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the most powerful person at the White House?
Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Jeff is the most powerful person at the White House.
Other than like the president.
So all buck stops, like all roads lead to Jeff.
Jeff and the president, yeah.
Okay.
Recently, Special Counsel Robert Hur characterized Biden in his final report as showing diminished faculties and faulty memory, in which Biden did not remember even within several years when his son Beau died. This report and Biden's general demeanor compel many Americans to speculate that there must be other people in charge and making the most important decisions for the American people. Tyler Robinson has a lot to say about Biden's shadow advisors that were never selected or voted for by Americans and lists them directly by name, stating there are 5 or 6 people who are Biden's closest advisors and have worked for him for over 30 years.
I mean, Joe Biden, like, he's been around for so long. He has, like, a solid group of people around him that, like, they're his closest advisors. So, like, he has a group of people, like, there's probably, like, 5 or 6 people that work for Joe Biden and have worked for him for 30 years. They go on TV sometimes. One of them is Ron Klain.
Ron Klain?
Ron Klain.
Okay.
He was the first chief of staff. He left.
Okay, before Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he also Ron worked for Biden when he was like a senator for a super long time, and then he worked for him when he was vice president, and then he worked for Obama for a little bit.
So he's worked with a lot of people.
He helped run the Hillary campaign. So he's like one of them. There's a guy named Steve Ricchetti. They're old friends. He's worked for Biden for like years. He's like a senior advisor at the White House. Anita Dunn, she is senior advisor. So, yeah, she's a senior advisor at White House.
One of these advisors is a D.C. insider named Anita Dunn, who once named Chinese Communist Revolutionary Mao Zedong as one of her 2 favorite political philosophers in a speech to a high school graduation. Coincidentally, Dunn, a former managing director of prominent Democratic consulting firm SKDK, just so happens to have downplayed the significance of Acorn in a 2009 appearance on CNN. As you recall, I posed as a pimp and with my colleague as a prostitute exposed Acorn, which led to federal investigations and the congressional defunding of Acorn.
Gene Sperling, he's an economics guy.
Okay. So that's 4 people.
Yeah.
Who's the 5th?
Oh, his sister.
Huh?
Biden's sister is like very important to him.
Biden's sister? What's her name?
Valerie.
Valerie Biden?
Yeah, she like runs the Biden Foundation at University of Delaware.
So all 5 of them were personally picked and appointed by Biden to basically run the show for him.
Yeah. I mean, the president can't do everything. Like,
Yeah.
so you have to delegate.
Yeah.
They're the people that run his different
Would you say those 5 people plus Jeff do more than the president himself?
It kind of depends.
Yeah. But they have ability to make decisions for the country without having to necessarily get the president's sign off.
They have to get the president's sign off. But
Yeah, but like how often would the president say no?
yeah, exactly.
Right? So if it ends up on the president's desk, then he'll probably sign off on it.
If they put it on his desk saying like,
Yeah.
hey, we think you should do this, they'll probably sign it.
So these 5 people plus Jeff are really the ones running the show.
Yeah, just like in very well. And most of the time, they're not people who have ever served in government office or like elected office, but they're people that have worked in government.
So they were never elected by the voters.
Yeah,
But they
they worked in the Senate for 30 years.
Tyler Robinson goes on to mention Obama and Hillary Clinton still having close ties to the White House, going as far as stating Hillary influences policies and helps advise select members of the Biden administration.
I feel like Barack Obama's still very involved.
No, he is.
Yeah. Hillary was being interviewed. And she said, I still talk to the White House every day.
Yeah, she has people that are like super close to her that are still like senior people in the White House.
Working for President Biden.
Yeah,
So who's she talking to at the White House?
probably Neera Tanden,
Who?
the director of the Domestic Policy Council.
What's his name?
Neera Tanden.
Okay.
She
Oh, she.
yeah, she worked for Hillary for a while.
And she now works for President Biden. So you think she's one of the people that
Yeah.
Hillary would talk to regularly?
Yeah.
To what? To influence the policies? Or like how much
Probably.
power? Yes?
Just get insight. Yeah.
And I hope Hillary's still involved behind the scene because
No, she is. Yeah.
okay. So she's talking to this one lady for
She
domestic.
does a lot of international stuff.
With whom?
They have like the Clinton initiative.
Does she talk to anyone else besides this Nara lady?
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
On internal SBA policy and plans, Tyler Robinson discusses how the SBA wants to get into the lending business to provide loans to small businesses that cannot get loans from private banks.
She had her congressional testimony, and like, we didn't want her to mention that like we would like to do direct funding to small businesses because Republicans hate that.
So you guys think that it's bad for her to advocate for direct funding?
Well, if we bring it up, they're just gonna yell at us.
Okay. So what did you guys say instead? Or what would be the alternative to
Like
that?
the line we kept going back to is we're not allowed to do that. We don't want to compete with banks and financial institutions.
But in reality, do you guys compete with banks?
For the small dollar loans, we would like to, yeah.
Are you guys competing?
We're not allowed to. We don't have the budget to do it.
Why do you guys want to compete with banks?
For the same reason I was talking about. No, we don't want to compete with banks. I think a way to expand access to capital for business owners is like those banks that don't want to do like a $10,000 loan. They're going to get that loan from nowhere else unless they go put it on their credit card for super high interest rates, or go to like someone who's going to do it at high interest rates. Where if Congress provided us the funding and helped give us the collection agency, like the ability to collect, we'd be fine with us. Like, yeah.
So you guys would be acting like banks,
lender, yeah.
a lender.
But we can't do that.
Man, are y'all hearing this? Y'all, this is incredible stuff. These type of exposures, I believe we're in for more of these type of exposures because they're the truth. You can only hold the truth back like a dam, if you will, for so long. You can lie for so long. And then on top of it, earlier in the video, he said that they I'm going to use the word covertly campaign for different sides. Now, again, if it's against the law, which it is, according to the Hatch Act, for you to campaign for a political person, and that's for a Republican or liberal or Democrat, I don't care who it is. Wrong is wrong. If these folks are acting covertly to go against the wishes of the American people, against the Constitution, what won't they do? God Almighty, this is incredible, y'all.
Why?
We don't have the budget to do it. Like, you have to get it. That money has to be approved, and we have to be. The legislature has to like approve the power to do that.
I see. And there's no way they can.
I mean, they could, but they won't because they like private business.
OMG's hidden footage reveals Tyler Robinson's special advisor to SBA Administrator Isabel Guzman making important confessions about who is actually making decisions in the executive branch. These advisors are not merely political bureaucrats, but an increasingly insular group of insiders with their hands in every aspect of party politics in corporate America, from healthcare companies and investment firms to media outlets and tech companies. If you're on the inside, please send us a tip to our Signal page, DM us on X or Instagram, and subscribe to On the Inside every Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. Stay tuned. I've had it with all my personal and private information being exposed.
This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm going to ask you, please don't turn a blind eye nor a deaf ear to this information. Please don't. Truth is truth, whether we want to hear it or not, whether it's comfortable or not, and whether it's convenient or not. We have something more to pray about, and we have something more to learn about, so that we can target our voting and target our voting even better, and just understanding how this process really works. For some people, this could be a hopeless situation where you just, again, give up. Please don't do that. We still have our parts to play, okay, whatever that may be. And hopefully you are on the side of truth, not my truth, the truth. And I'm on the side of the truth. So even if it's uncomfortable for me, if this mess was going on with President Trump, as much as I wouldn't like it, I would still be against him for those reasons. Because what you just told me to my face, or you're doing it covertly. You're telling me I'm going to take your trust, I'm going to squander it, I'm going to stamp up on it, stand on it. I'm going to stomp on it. I'm going to throw it in the trash. And if I get a chance, I'm going to throw you in the trash too. That's how personal I take this. They tell us we go through this voting process. They tell us that there's no corruption going on, or not, mostly nothing's going on. And then they do stuff like this. I don't care what side of the political aisle you stand on. Please seek truth only. Not convenience, not popularity. Seek truth only. Listen, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button, share this video with others that you know. Share this with somebody else you know is interested in truth and truth only. God bless you. I love you. I'll see you next time.